Good evening, one and all. Myself, Dr. Rajara Mohan Rao. I am going to present today pathophysiology about congestive heart failure. So, before going to the heart failure, just we have a brief recap about kidney failure. So, what is kidney failure? If there is any kidney failure, what will be going to do? In such situation, we will be going for dialysis. So, why you are going for dialysis? Kidney's basic function is purifying the blood contents. There are other functions, but major content is purifying the blood contents. Yes, sir. So, kidney's main function is purifying. So, in kidney's failure, we are going for dialysis because kidney is unable to filter the blood, unable to remove the waste contents, exterior products in the blood. So, we are going for dialysis. Same, the main function of heart is to pump the blood. So, there are n number of functions, but heart failure is it can't pump the blood. The major function of heart is to pump the blood. So, there are two kinds of failures, unable to pump the blood, that is left ventricular heart failure, right side heart failure. So, heart failure. So, can't meet demands because it unable to pump the required amount of blood. One can be diastolic heart failure. Diastolic means it is a relaxation state. When your heart is relaxing, the blood is filling in the heart. That is diastolic heart failure. Means it is not filling enough blood. Coming to systolic heart failure. Systole means pumping of the heart. So it can't pump with sufficient force. It can't pump all the quantities of the blood from the heart to all the body parts. So can't pump hard enough. This results in congestion. That is buildup of fluid in the lungs. How it happen in the congestion? So there is heart failure, but how it can be a congestive heart failure? So come to the heart failure. Lungs in the heart from veins, pulmonary vein. From pulmonary vein, blood will be coming to the left ventricle. As it is unable to pump the all the blood, some quantity of the blood will be remaining in the left ventricle. So this blood is coming, is unable to fill all the blood. So it goes back into the lungs. The blood vessels present in the lungs. So as a result, the blood vessels of the lungs, it becomes dilated because of more blood. As it is widening, the blood walls will be thinner. So fluid oozes out of the blood vessels. Results congestion of the lungs. So congestive heart failure. So because of heart failure, there is a fluid buildup in the lungs. So heart failure along with congestion. So congestive heart failure. So now we will go for what are the kinds, what will be the reasons, what are the pathological factors for congestive heart failure. One is ischemia, one is valvular disease. We will be going in deeper in the next slides. As a result, congestive heart failure. It is one of the main reasons for a death in many of the population. So, two kinds of heart failures, systolic and diastolic. Now, we will be discussing about systolic heart failure. Systolic heart failure is nothing but the heart unable to pump the sufficient blood. So, can't pump hard enough. So, we will be here coming to know some basic concepts. Stroke volume, cardiac output, heart rate, such kind of things. So here cardiac output is nothing but stroke volume cardiac output is equal to stroke volume into heart rate. So stroke volume is nothing but the amount of blood that is being pumped per beat. So heart rate is nothing but number of beats per minute. So cardiac output is nothing but volume of blood that is pumping per minute and beats. So cardiac output is nothing but stroke volume into heart rate. So on an average, number of beats per minute is 70. On an average, volume that is being pumped out of the heart per beat is 70 ml. So on an average, per minute, volume of blood that is being pumped out of the heart is 4900. So it is around 5 liters of blood that is being pumped per minute out of the heart. So in systolic heart failure, the heart unable to pump around 5 liters of the blood. So you will be coming here, what you have said, 70 ml of the blood, 70 ml of the blood per beat. So systolic heart failure. So here see, the total volume that is present in the heart is 110 ml, but out of 110 ml only 70 ml being pumped. So as a result, the ejection fraction is 64%. So if we calculate 70 by 110 into 100, we will get 64%. So that is ejection fraction, and the leftover fraction is 40 ml. So heart can't pump all the blood that is present in the heart. So the ejection fraction is 64%. So can be considered as a normal. We can be considered as a normal when the range is between 50 to 70. If it is below this line, borderline, below this line can be systolic heart failure. So if the heart out of 110 ml of the blood, if it is pumping only 44 ml, then the ejection fraction will be 40%. So will be considered as a systolic heart failure. This is one kind. In this, out of 110 ml, heart is pumping only 40 ml. So heart is unable to pump the sufficient blood out of the heart. So this is unable to pump. So systolic heart failure. Next one is diastolic heart failure. In diastolic heart failure, what the thing is, diastole means what I have said, it is filling of the blood in the heart. So if the total blood present in the heart itself is 69 ml, earlier in 110 ml in general, in diastolic failure, heart is unable to get sufficient volume. So the total amount of the blood in the left ventricle is only 69 ml. Out of 69 ml, it is pumping 44 ml. So the ejection fraction is 64 ml. So we are getting a fraction is more, but can we consider as a very good healthy condition? No, because fraction is more, but the volume that we required for all the body functions, metabolic function is not sufficient enough. In that situation, we can call it as a diastolic heart failure, because not filling enough, because out of 110 it is filling only 69 ml. So this condition can be called as diastolic heart failure. So pumping of the heart follows Frank-Starling mechanism. It is nothing but, as heart is there, if the amount of blood is pumping, filling sufficient enough, the heart muscles will stretch like this. Stretching increases. As the stretching increases, the contraction also increases. See, heart means blood is pumping here. So blood is filling, though the heart chambers are expanding. With the same force, the heart can be contracted so that all the blood will be ejected. Whereas in the congestive heart failure, this mechanism will be failed, because it unable to expand properly and unable to contract properly. So it won't follow Frank-Starling mechanism. Like we can consider it as a rubber band. As much we can stretch, it will contract. So before means filling pressure equals to pumping pressure. So if it is imbalances, the heart won't follow Frank-Starling mechanism. So this can be two kinds of failure: right-sided heart failure, left-sided heart failure. So what are the disease conditions that is causing heart failure? That is, one is ischemic disease. Ischemic disease is nothing but there is a obstruction to the blood flow. So if it is there is any blood obstruction to the blood flow in the part of myocardium, so there won't be any blood flow. Because there is no blood flow, there are chances of the tissue present that area will be dead. So because of dead tissue, at that part it is unable to receive sufficient oxygen. After some time it will be dead. So the heart, some of the part of it is being dead, so it loses its property, it unable to contract sufficient strength. So ischemic heart disease results in damage to the myocardium. Because of damage to the myocardium, it is losing its tensile property, unable to contract. Next, long standing hypertension. Because of hypertension, heart has to pump very forcefully to overcome this hypertension. So to overcome this, the stress on this will be more. the stress on this will be more, results in the growth of this tissue. Earlier the space is more because of too much contractions, it will be resulting in hypertrophy. So because of arterial pressure, hard to pump, as a result of hard to pump will result in hypertrophy. So because of hypertrophy, it is very hard for the heart to squeeze the blood efficiently. It results in the weaker contractions. Next, cardiac myopathy. Earlier one is because of hypertension, heart muscles will be overgrown. Because of overgrown, he is unable to beat sufficiently. Here the chambers will be dilated. Because of chambers dilation, the left ventricle has to be thicker compared to the right ventricle. Because of dilation, because of cardiomyopathy, the muscles of the left ventricle will be thinner. Because of thinner property, it can't beat sufficiently. So as it is becoming thinner, it can fill sufficient volume of blood and it can stretch sufficiently, but thin and weak, it can't pump sufficiently, it can't press the heart, it can't beat, it can't give sufficient force of contraction to eject all the blood. Such can be called as dilated cardiomyopathy. Next, heart failure. In heart failure, after pumping, the blood reaches the kidney. After reaching kidney, in heart failure, what happens? Kidneys won't be receiving sufficient. In heart failure, kidneys won't be receiving sufficient blood to filter the things. At that situation, kidneys will sense the things and release renin. So renin will release, as a result, renin-angiotensin system will be activated. As kidneys are receiving less fluid, renin will be activated. It activates, so after activation of renin-angiotensin system, fluid will be retained because as kidneys are receiving less blood because of congestive heart failure means unable to pump sufficient blood. So less blood is received by the kidney. It results in the activation of renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. Because of this activation of the system, fluid retention will be happen. Because of fluid retention, again preload will be more. Filling and preload will be more. Again the heart requires more contraction. Ultimately it results in the fluid buildup and congestive heart failure. So what I have said, because of congestive heart failure, initially there are many number of like ischemia, myopathy, such kind of factors. But some contrary mechanism to compensate the heart failure, some adaptive mechanism will be activated at that situation. One mechanism is sympathetic nervous system, because at that situation heart is unable to beat sufficiently, unable to have contractions. So at that situation, sympathetic nervous system will be activated. As sympathetic nervous system will be activated, beta receptors of the heart will be activated. So increases cardiac output, stroke volume for some time. But as condition is aggravating, it again results in the headache for the heart. So sympathetic nervous system, apart from acting on the heart, it also activates renin-angiotensin system. Because of renin-angiotensin system, it is released from the juxtaglomerular cells. So renin will be acting on the angiotensinogen, which is present in the liver. So after acting on the angiotensinogen activated into angiotensin 1. On angiotensin 1, ACE will be acted. So ACE is present in the lungs. So angiotensinogen 1 converts into angiotensin 2. So angiotensin 2 acts on the blood vessels, causes vasoconstriction. Because of vasoconstriction, again BP will be activated, and angiotensinogen 1 will also act on kidney. And activates aldosterone. Aldosterone is an antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone again prevents the diuresis. So again fluid will be accumulated. So again preload will be increased. So again congestive heart failure will be happening. So this is the pathophysiology regarding about congestive heart failure. Thank you.